didn't he? Frank and I used to talk about, see, that night, the average age of the bull rider in that Coliseum down there was 19 and a half. And Freckles was 46. And we used to talk about them flat-bellied kids and them broad-brimmed hats because they're taking over everything. They'll do that, you know. And Frank and I had been talking about that, and we were at the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, and I was back behind the chutes. Freckles was judging, and the guys were on their trailer. They were ready to go in the arena, and the timed event guys were on their end of the arena, and the bareback riders and bronc riders and bull riders and some of the bulldoggers and one or two of the clowns was in the Justin Healer room getting taped up. Freckles had gone back around in the arena, and I'm standing there kicking that sawdust and trying to think about what we were going to do because we had been there 7 nights already. And I looked across the end of that old Coliseum, and coming out of a door over there was the prettiest little blonde-headed girl you ever saw in your life. I mean, she was a darling. And she was grinning from ear to ear and in a nice little jog trot and headed right straight towards me. And I looked around to see which one of them flat-bellied kids she was grinning at, and there wasn't nobody back there but me. And by now she's in a high lope, and she's grinning wider and wider all the time. And the closer she gets, the more I'm thinking, well, yeah, maybe 50 ain't such a bad age after all. She comes running up to me and wraps her arms around my neck, kisses me on the cheek and said, "Red, I have always wanted to meet you. You went to high school with my grandmother." That'll trip your trigger. But rodeo has been so good to us. For 17 years we stayed on the rodeo trail, and we played between 35 and 40 rodeos a year, so that the people in the great American sport became our family, and still to this day the best friends we'll ever have in our lives. This is a story that I saw one night when Larry Mahan came off the saddle bronc in that same arena, and he lay still because the horse ran right over the top of him, and we were all scared to death that he was really hurt bad, and he was hurt pretty bad, broke his wrist and his collarbone, and he was bruised up pretty good. And I got this picture in my mind and I couldn't get it out, and the next morning I wrote Larry this song. Not exactly like this, but I mean, this is not exactly like it happened. Y'all keep that in mind. He's hung his old saddle up high in the barn, made her a promise that his cowboy is done. Said, I won them big buckles, done all I can do. Now I'm ready to spend my last years here with you. Said, we'll break out them flatlands that ain't been plowed for years. We'll plant wheat and white oats, they'll do well up here. Then I'll buy us some baldies to run in the hills, and I'll break out some bad country stuff, help pay the bill. 'Cause the winters get long up Alberta way. Clouds get so dark at times there's no light of day. And the long nights get lonely and cold as she waits, as she dreams of a cowboy named Dawson LaGate. Just fine till the harvest was done. Feet started itching, he wanted to run. He quietly entered the cavalry stampede. Didn't know first that he took just put wings on his feet. And she cried when he showed her the money he'd won. She knew by the first light of day he'd be gone. But he promised he'd quit gets so dark, the time there's no light in it. And the long nights get lonely and cold while she waits, as she dreams of a cowboy named Dawson LaGate. Well, the summer went fast, he was riding them all. His tide shying in the first at Sioux Falls. He was sending home money, his intentions were good. But then life for a cowboy don't go like it should. 'Cause he drove him a bad one at Frisco that fall. A mean one to ride was a shoot fight hard. And the first jump he stumbled, fell when he rolled, as his neck snapped like straw, Dawson's body grew cold. Now the ragweeds have taken the flatlands again. There's a few strands of wire where the fences have been, and the baldies are starving in the hills where they graze, while she's rocking the first son of Dawson LaGate.